fear of the effects of globalization, high levels of unemployment, and negative population growth are making people question the viability of the European social model, at a time when people fear the loss of protection by the welfare state against illness, old age, unemployment and poverty. On the initiative of Portuguese MEP José Silva Peneda, the EPP-ED group held a hearing on the future of the European social model. The European social model is a concept fundamentally based on the project of Europe, incorporating the values of peace, democracy and solidarity. However, the way this model is interpreted differs from member state to member state.
From my point of view, the sustainability of the European social model relies above all in the success of a strategy of growth and employment rather than on the reforms of the model in itself.
Parliament has already adopted a resolution on the subject, urging the Commission to take further initiatives to fully implement the internal market, while avoiding any race-to-the-bottom effect in terms of environmental, consumer or social standards. Commissioner Vladimir Špidla, European Commissioner for Employment, Social Affairs and Equal Opportunities, outlined the commitments of the European Commission regarding the European social model, such as the European Globalisation Adjustment Fund. The Commission can also initiate a discussion on hot topics like the demographic problem or proposing various directives and other legislative measures. But how can Europe put 27 different social models on the same level? It's not so difficult. There are no different models, but different forms. The values on which these forms are based are everywhere the same. Our task is to find new forms of these values for the future. We have to defend and develop our values. Leading academics in the field from across Europe emphasise that the European social model has to function in an environment of increasing state protectionism in the USA and China, for example, says Stefan Hassler, Director of the Global Policy Institute at the London Metropolitan University.
The European social model needs to respond to this. I mean, if the Americans become protectionist, the Chinese increasingly become protectionist, we have got to look out for ourselves here and make sure that we construct trade policies which are strategically in our interest.
There is no alternative on reforming the European social model. This is a key point on European integration policy, says Marco Riccieri, Secretary-General of the Institute of Political, Economical and Social Studies in Rome. But the problem is how to combine this model with the economic needs. Many people are afraid of too much market. Therefore, it is important to create indicators and to give examples in order to increase public trust in the necessity of reforming the European social model. José Silva Peneda is co-rapporteur of Parliament's report on the future of the European social model. We asked him why a reform of the European social model is necessary.
Reform is necessary because the world is changing, and concerning, for example, globalization and demographic situations, the situation is changing so rapidly that because of these two main factors we need to change some aspects of social model. The great problem for Europe in this moment is to answer this question: how it's possible to become competitive in the world economy and maintain the values associated with the European social model.
Mr. Peneda underlines the importance of the Lisbon strategy in securing an efficient, sustainable European social model.
I think it's a key role, because when you speak about reform of the European social model, it's not to reform the European in itself. The European social model is related with other aspects of economy, so and as with environment. So Lisbon strategy, in what concerns, for example, the reinforcement of internal market, in what concerns also to the coordination of economic policy among member states. So all these aspects that are considered in Lisbon strategy are key issues in terms of more growing, and the last figures that we have in Europe are quite optimists. For example, for the first year, this is important, in last year, for such time that Europe grows more than the United States. And 2006, for the first time, so many years ago, productivity is better in Europe than the United States.
At the heart of the European social model are measures to harness the economic power of the free market in a regulatory system which prevents abuses but also guarantees basic social needs and social security. The EPP-ED Group emphasises that growth in the EU is the key starting point to the success of an efficient and sustainable European social model. This programme was brought to you by the press service of the EPP-ED Group, the largest political group in the European Parliament. See you again soon.